we need to talk about parasocial relationships. And this isn't where I say, folks, go touch grass. Because if we've ever felt connected to someone online and we've actually kind of missed them when they stop showing up, and we kind of wonder why that hits harder than it should, right? So we're not imagining this. Our brain does exactly what it's built to do. Our brains are built for connection. So it recognizes the presence, the consistency, and the voice that really shows up when other things don't. And over time, that creates a little bit of a bond. So when your creator goes quiet, takes a break, and disappears in a way that we really didn't expect, right? People feel that, not casually, not logically. They feel it in a way that looks a little bit like grief, because your brain didn't file it as them being just content. It filed them as something being familiar to us, something reliable, something that exists in our day-to-day rhythm, right? So that's important. The oxytocin that our brain releases, it doesn't ask questions. It doesn't ask if the relationship is mutual. It just recognizes that presence, and it builds a little bit of attachment. So when presence disappears, your system doesn't go, you know what, that was just someone offline today, right? So it goes, something mattered and now it's gone, right? It doesn't mean that you're a clingy person. It just means that your brain is committed to something that feels real. And here's the part people don't really say out loud, right? Is these bonds get stronger than real world connection feels. Quite often, right? So when life is heavy and people are distracted, conversations feel kind of surface level. And a stranger speaking directly into a camera at you can feel more present than the people sitting right next to you. Not because these people are more important, because in that moment, they were just available, right? So honestly, we want to pathologize that, but no, it's data. It tells you something about modern loneliness and where connection is quietly being replaced instead of being restored. So guys, here's a little bit of a twist. The creators feel something too. Not quite the same thing, and probably not at the same depth, but it's really not nothing. Because when you show up consistently, when you see the same names, the same energy returning, the same people, you start to recognize patterns and presence on the other side too. So the relationship is not one-sided, but it is one-sided in structure, but not in feeling. It's parasocial on both sides, a little bit more asymmetrical, but when it shifts or it ends or it breaks, there's a disconnect that is felt in both directions. But here's the part that reframes absolutely everything, friends. You don't actually miss a stranger. You miss the version of yourself that feels seen, that laughed a little easier, that felt less alone in really hard moments. They weren't the connection. They were just a delivery method, friends. And that doesn't make the experience fake. Important to know that. It just makes it very meaningful. It just asks a better question. What part of you comes alive in that space, and where can it exist in your real life too? So that's a part that is absolutely worth thinking about. So take some time on that today. And no, it ain't weird. It's normal.